going to today's topic is immunoglobulins or antibodies or alpha globulins. So what are the immunoglobulins? See the functions of the immunoglobulins, structures of the immunoglobulins, what are the abnormalities of the immunoglobulins. Today we'll discuss it. So what is the immunity? See the definition for the immunity. The defense strategies of the body are collectively referred to as immunity. So immunoglobulins or antibodies or gamma globulins are all are same. Don't forget immunoglobulins or antibodies or gamma globulins. Okay. So what is the immunity? Immunity, the defense strategies of the body are collectively referred to as immunity. What is the function of these immunoglobulins or antibodies or gamma globulins? The main function is engulf or invasion of the foreign substances that is released from the virus, bacteria or a protein. That means the higher vertebrates including man to protect themselves against the invasion of the foreign substances. So the foreign substances are released from the virus or a bacteria or a protein. Actually, immunoglobulins are, what are the immunoglobulins? Is a carbohydrate or is a protein or is a amino acid or is a nucleotides? No, this is immunoglobulin is a specialized group of proteins. Don't forget, immunoglobulins are proteins, not a carbohydrate, not a amino acid, not a nucleotides. So immunoglobulins are a specialized group of proteins. Why immunoglobulins are also called the gamma globulins? So immunoglobulins or the, here it is antibodies or gamma globulins. Why it is called the gamma globulins? Because of the immunoglobulins are associated with the gamma globulin fraction of the plasma proteins. So immunoglobulins are associated with the gamma globulin fraction of the plasma proteins. Hence it is known as a gamma globulins. So immunoglobulins or here it is antibodies or gamma globulins. So here it is a gamma globulin is a physical term, immunoglobulin is a functional term. See the structure of the immunoglobulins. See here it is this is a Y shape. Immunoglobulin structure is a Y shape. See this is the Y shape. Y shape structure. Y shape structure. So immunoglobulin structure is Y shape. So immunoglobulins are Y shape structure and it consists of two identical units, heavy chains and light chain. This is the heavy chain, two heavy chains. See here it is the two light chains. This is the light chain. Another one. So one light chain, another one light chains. Two light chains, two heavy chains. This is the one heavy chain. This is the another one is heavy chain. So immunoglobulins are Y-shaped and consist of the two heavy chains and two light chains. See here it is. This is the light chain. See here it is light chains. Two light chains, two heavy chains. See the Y shape, two heavy chains, two light chains. This is the one, this is the another one. This is the one heavy chain, this is the one heavy chain. This is the one light chain, this is the one light chain. Okay. So these are interacted by the disulfide bridges. These are the interacted by the disulfide bridges with non-covalent interactions. See here it is the interactions between the with the disulfide bridges. See here it is disulfide bridges. Each heavy chain and light chain. Each heavy chain and light chain containing the amino acid. Here this is the. Here it is. Amino acid terminal. Each heavy chain and light chain. See this is the heavy chain. This is the amino acid terminal and light chain also contains the amino acid terminal. We can differentiate it with the color. So this is the purple color is actually amino terminal. See here it is a amino terminal and this one is a amino light yellowish color is that is amino terminal. So each heavy chain and light chain contain the amino terminal and carboxy terminal. Amino terminal and carboxy terminal. See this is the amino terminal of the heavy chain, carboxy terminal of the heavy chain. This red color is carboxy terminal and purple color is the here it is a amino terminal. So each heavy chain and light chain containing the both the amino terminal and carboxy terminal ends. Amino terminal and carboxy terminal. Here is this is the light color of the so heavy light chain containing the amino terminal, and this is the carboxy terminal. See here it is C1 like this. This is CH3, CH1. These are the carboxy terminal. Heavy chain of the carboxy terminal. So Y-shaped immunoglobulins are Y-shaped, and this contain two identical units, that is the heavy chain and light chain. These heavy chain and light chains are interacted with the disulfide bridges. See here it is disulfide bridges interacted with the or linked with the disulfide bridges. And each heavy chain containing the, here it is amino acid terminal and carboxy terminal. Each light chain containing the amino acid terminal and carboxy terminal. See here it is carboxy terminal. And this, what is the importance of this amino acid terminal, both the heavy and the light chains? See here it is the importance of this amino acid terminal, both the heavy chains and light chains, and bind up with the antigen. Bind up with the antigen. So both the heavy chain and light chain, amino acid terminal, both the light chain and heavy chains are important to the, so bind it with the antigens. Bind it with the antigens. And here it is each heavy chain and light chain containing two variable regions, and here it is variable regions and constant regions. Each heavy chain and light chain containing a variable region and constant region. Two regions, they containing the two regions, each heavy chain and light chain. The two regions are the variable region and constant region. Variable region and constant region. See here is the amino terminal half of the light chain containing the variable region. Carboxy terminal half of the light chain containing the constant region. See here, this is the carboxy terminal of the light chain, is known as the constant region. Amino acid terminal of the light chain is a variable region. See here it is variable region. And here it is in heavy chains, 1/4 of the see here it is a variable region and 3/4 contain the carboxy region. That means it's constant region. So heavy chain contains the 3/4 of the, here it is a constant region, 1/4 the variable region. See here it is. There is a variable region, this is a constant region. So two regions, this is the variable region and this one is the constant region. So in heavy chains, constant region is 3/4, 1/4 is the variable region. But here it is in light chains, both are given equals, that is a variable region. Here this one is the amino acid terminal is a variable region, carboxy terminal is a constant region. See here it is. This Y shape, so immunoglobulins are cleaved with the one enzyme. Cleaved with the one enzyme, that is papain. See here it is a papain enzyme. Papain enzyme. At this region is called the hinge region. Hinge region. See here it is, this is the hinge region. So papain is the enzyme cleaved the immunoglobulin, that is between the CH1 and CH2. Between the CH1 and CH2. See here it is a CH1, this is the, here it is CH1 and CH2. So hinge region present between the CH1 and CH2. Hinge region present between the CH1 and CH2. This is hinge region occurs by the, here it is a papain enzyme. Papain enzyme. See here it is. Papain enzyme. Hinge region occurs by the papain enzyme. So when the papain enzyme, so cleaved the, this is Y globulin or gamma globulin of the immunoglobulin. This leads to the, see here in the region. This leads to the antigen binding fragments and crystallizing fragment. See here it is antigen binding fragment and crystallizing fragment. See here it is. This is the upper part is known as this one is the antigen binding fragment and lower part is called the, here it is crystallizable fragment. So hinge region occurs between the CH1 and CH2. The above CH1 is called the antigen binding fragment and below the CH2. So CH2 and CH3 part is called the, here it is a crystallizable fragment. Crystallizable fragment. Each heavy chain containing the 450 amino acids. Each heavy chain containing the 450 amino acids. The molecular weight of the heavy chain is between the 50,000 to 75,000. Between the 50,000 to 75,000. Each light chain containing 213 amino acids, 213 amino acids, each light chain containing 213 amino acids, and the molecular weight of the each light chain is, here it is in 23,000. Each light chain is 23,000. Why immunoglobulins are called the, here it is glycoproteins. Why immunoglobulins are called the glycoproteins. See, here it is the large part of the heavy chains. Here is the large part of the heavy chains linked with the carbohydrates. See, here it is the large part of the heavy chain linked with the carbohydrates. Hence, it is known as a glycoprotein. Hence, it is known as a glycoprotein. See, here it is the structure of the immunoglobulin. The immunoglobulin are the Y-shaped. It consists of the variable region, and here it is a constant region, and these are linked with these disulfide bridges. The pappin enzyme cleaved the between the CH1 and the CH2 at this region is called the hinge region. At this is called the hinge region. 1/4 of the, actually the heavy chain contains the 3/4 of the carboxy terminal. 1/4 is the antigen binding site. This is the antigen binding site. 1/4 is the variable region, 3/4 is the constant region. So this purple color is the antigen binding siting. This is the antigen binding site, or otherwise is the amino acid terminal site. This is the amino acid terminal site, heavy chain. This is the amino acid terminal site of the light chain. This is the amino acid terminal of the light chain, carboxy terminal of the light chain. This is the amino acid terminal of the light heavy chain, and this red color shows the, here it is the carboxy terminal of the heavy chain. So 3/4 of the carboxyl terminal of the heavy chain, 1/4 of the amino acid terminal of the light chain. This is also known as a variable region. This red color is known as a constant region. This one is the slight yellowish color is amino acid terminal, and also this region is called the variable region. This purple dark yellowish color is the constant region. Constant region. See, here it is. So light chains, heavy chains, these are interchanged by with the disulfide bonds. See, here it is. The hinge region occurs between the CH1 and CH2. This hinge region occurs by the pappin enzyme. Due to this one, the upper part of this is above one is called the antigen binding fraction, and below part is called the fraction, crystallizable fraction. Crystallizable fraction. See, now see the types of the immunoglobulins. So these are classified into 5 classes, that is the IgG, IgA, IgM, IgD and IgE. You can remember easily that is the GA, D or DGA. There is no need to by heart this one is what are the types of immunoglobulins. These are the 5 classes or 5 types, that is IgG, IgG, IgA, IgM, IgD and IgE. So you can remember easily take A in IgG, G, and in IgA, A, and in IgM, M, in IgE, E. So combined together is a spell as a game. That is another one IgD. That means is a game D or D game. You can remember easily. There is no need to the by heart one. What are the types of the immunoglobulins? Actually, heavy chains containing the containing the different types of different types of the here it is a gamma. This is the gamma, alpha, mu, delta and epsilon heavy chains. These are the types of heavy chains. So immunoglobulins containing the gamma, alpha, mu, delta and epsilon types of heavy chains, and also containing the, here it is light chains, 2 types, that is kappa or lambda. So immunoglobulins containing the 2 types of light chains, 5 types of heavy chains. So the 5 types are gamma, here it is alpha, mu, delta and epsilon. So you can remember easily alpha, beta, gamma, delta and the epsilon. You should omit the beta, some beta and add the mu. Add the mu. So gamma, alpha, mu, delta and epsilon, these are the types of the heavy chains. Kappa or lambda, these are the 2 types of light chains. So immunoglobulins contain the 5 types of the heavy chains and 2 types of the light chains. The two types, what are the two types? That is a kappa or lambda. Kappa or lambda. But immunoglobulins containing the, so especially more than, that is a K type of light chains. Almost all the immunoglobulins containing the K type, that is a kappa type of immunoglobulin light chains. Kappa type of light chains. See here it is. IgG is a containing the, see here it is a gamma chain, that is a heavy chain, gamma heavy chain. IgA containing the alpha heavy chain, and IgM containing the mu heavy chain, and IgD containing the delta chain, and here it is a IgE containing the epsilon chain, epsilon type of heavy chain. Now see the discussion of the individual immunoglobulins. IgG. So out of five types, IgG is the most abundant that is present in the human beings. About is 75 to 80%. 75 to 80% is IgG is present in the human beings. That is a composed of single Y shape. A single Y shape product is known as a monomer. So IgG is a monomer or single Y shape. It can traverse the blood vessels readily. The most important function of the IgG transfers the mother's immunity to the developed fetus. Transfers the mother immunity to the developing fetus. So IgG only the immunoglobulin that can cross the placenta and transfers the mother's immunity to the developing fetus. And also triggers the foreign cells destruction. This foreign cell destruction mediated by the complement system. And this IgG containing the, here it is a gamma type of heavy chains. Gamma type of heavy chains. IgA. IgA is a monomer or dimer. It is a monomer or dimer. See here it is a differentiation between the monomer and dimer. See here it is. This is the monomer. IgG is a monomer. See the structure of the IgG. And this green color is nothing but it's a hinge region of the IgG. Hinge region. This is a hinge region. See it is the IgA, dimer or monomer. But this is the structure is a dimer of the IgA. See here it is. Y shape. This is another Y shape. See here it is Y shape. This is the Y shape. This region is a hinge region. So it contains the alpha type of heavy chains. IgA contains the alpha type of heavy chains. So these dimers actually bind up with the, interacted with the J polypeptide chains held together by. These are held together by, dimer is held together by J polypeptide chains. J type of polypeptide chains. So IgA is where it is present. IgA, so that is found in the body secretions such as saliva, tears, sweat, milk, walls of the intestine. Saliva, tears, sweat, milk, and walls of the intestine. So IgA is present in the secretions like saliva, tears, sweat, milk, and walls of the intestine. And also its content is a dimer, a monomer as a dimer. This is held together by the J polypeptide chains. When it is released, IgA is when it is released. IgA is the initial secretion from the mother's breast after a baby is born. So when it is released, IgA is the initial secretion from the mother's breast after a baby is born. IgE prevents the foreign substances from the entering the body cells. Next one is the IgM. It is a IgM is a, see here it is a 5 Y-shaped units. It is a pentamer. Why it is called a pentamer? Because of the 5 Y-shaped units. See here it is a 5 Y-shaped units. It is a pentamer. These are held together by J polypeptide chains. J polypeptide chains. This is the region of the IgM. It is the largest immunoglobulin, and here it is containing the mu type of heavy chains. Mu type of heavy chains. IgM is a pentamer, the largest immunoglobulin, containing the mu type of heavy chain. This is the hinge region. This 5 pentamer, this is a 5 Y-shaped are interacted with the, are linked by the J polypeptide chains. J polypeptide chains. Due to the heavy size or large size, IgM cannot traverse the blood vessels. Due to the heavy size, IgM cannot traverse the blood vessels. And IgM is the largest immunoglobulin, and and it is the first antibody to produce in response to the antigen. Now, see the next type is IgD. IgD is also a single Y-shaped unit or otherwise is a monomer. Single Y-shaped unit or monomer. It is present in the circulation, is low concentration, and also is present on the surface of the beta cells. IgD is present on the surface of the beta cells. In the circulation, it shows low concentration. It is present in the low concentration in the circulation. So present in a low concentration in the circulation, it is a monomer, and it is also containing here it is a heavy chains, delta chain. So IgD contains the delta type of heavy chains. IgE also is a monomer or single bi-shaped. It is normally present in the minute concentration in the blood, and also it is elevated in individuals with the allergies. In allergic conditions, IgE levels are elevated. The IgE molecules are tightly bind with the mast cells, which release the histamine and cause the allergy. So it containing the epsilon type of heavy chains. IgE containing the epsilon type of heavy chains. So both IgD, IgE are present in the blood is low concentrations actually. So but IgD molecule present on the surface of the beta cells. IgE levels are elevated with the allergic conditions. So the allergies mainly cause for when the IgE molecules bind with the mast cells, which release the histamine and cause the allergies. See, what are the abnormalities occurs due to the immunoglobulins? What are the abnormalities? So this is the when the overproduction of abnormal immunoglobulins leads to the multiple myeloma. The abnormalities of the immunoglobulins is multiple myeloma. The multiple myeloma is mainly due to the abnormal immunoglobulins productions known as a multiple myeloma. So this is mainly with the malignancy of the single clone of the plasma cells in the bone marrow. So this results to the overproduction of abnormal immunoglobulins, mostly about 75%. This multiple myeloma occurs aged between the 45 to 60 years. It is also known as plasma cell cancer. This is females are the more susceptible to than the males. Females are more susceptible to the males. In multiple myeloma, so normal immunoglobulin synthesis is decreased or diminished. Normal immunoglobulin synthesis is diminished in multiple myeloma. So hence the recurrent infections are common in these patients. So the multiple myeloma is mainly due to the overproduction of abnormal immunoglobulins, that is about 75%. So also occurs age between the 45 to 60 years. But here it is the females are the more susceptible than the males. And in multiple myeloma, normal immunoglobulin synthesis are decreased or diminished. How can you identify what are the tests are available for the identification of the multiple myeloma? Which tests are? That is, one is electrophoretic pattern. So by using this plasma and urine also. So we require the two samples, that is plasma, another one is the urine. So electrophoretic pattern is a multiple myeloma patients with the characteristic features. So that is in when run the plasma electrophoresis. In electrophoresis, here it is a electrophoretic pattern in in also patients. Actually, in normal, this is the albumin. Next one is alpha 1 and alpha 2 and beta. This is the gamma. Gamma band is here. There is no gamma band in normal people. See here it is the albumin, alpha 1, alpha 2, beta and gamma. Listen, there is no gamma band. But in multiple myeloma patients, is albumin, alpha 1, alpha 2, beta and gamma. This gamma band is replaced with the M band. The gamma band is replaced with the M band. M band means is nothing but is a multiple myeloma. That means this gamma band is peak. High here it is. See here it is thickness of the gamma band. So this gamma band is replaced by the M band. Hence this M band means is a multiple myeloma. So this is the difference between the normals and patient. So now in normal patient there is no gamma band, but in patients with the multiple myeloma, gamma band is weak, is high. See here it is. So this is the normal and patients with the multiple myeloma when plasma run with the electrophoresis. See, this is the normal pattern. The separation of the globulins, that is alpha 1, alpha 2, beta, gamma and gamma 2. See here it is albumin. Alpha 1 globulins, alpha 2 globulins, beta globulins. Here it is gamma 1 globulins and gamma 2 globulins. In patients with multiple myeloma, this gamma globulin is replaced with the M band. Another test. See here it is. This is the serum pattern. Multiple myeloma, run with multiple myeloma. This is the serum. This is the albumin. And this is the gamma band. This is the urine, sample with urine. CASA, here it is. This is the albumin. This is the light chains of the immunoglobulins. This is the immunoglobulin pattern, that is the light chains of the immunoglobulins. See here it is. So another test is Benzon's proteins. The confirmation for the multiple myeloma, urine with the Benzon's proteins. So what are the Benzon's proteins? So here it is, the presence of Benzon's proteins in urine can be detected by the specific test, that is the electrophoresis test, and heat test. Another one is Bradshaw test. Electrophoresis, the confirmation of the Benzone proteins in the urine, so we can detect it by using electrophoresis, and heat test. Another one is Bradshaw test. Bradshaw test. Bradshaw test. What are the Benzone proteins? So actually, Henry Benzone's first described them in 1847, hence it is known as a Benzone's proteins. So these are the light chains. Benzone proteins are the light chains of the immunoglobulins. The synthesis are in excess. The synthesized in excess. Light chain synthesis are excess and they excreted through the urine. Benzone proteins are excreted in urine, which is often damaged to the renal tubules. The molecular weight of these light chains is between 20,000 to 40,000. So Benzone's proteins are excreted in urine, which often damage the renal tubules. This mainly is Benzone's proteins are the light chains of the immunoglobulins. The synthesis are the excess in urine and excreted through the urine. See procedure for the heat test of the Benzone's proteins. So when heated the acidified urine at 40 to 50 degrees Celsius, take the acidified urine heated at the 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. This leads to the precipitation occurs of the Benzone's proteins. So precipitation occurs in test tubes. You can observe the precipitation in test tubes. That means Benzone proteins are present. So Benzone proteins are precipitation occurs at the 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. That means when urine contains the Benzone proteins, heated at 40 to 50 degrees Celsius, the Benzone proteins are present, the precipitation occurs at the 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. But this precipitation is redissolved. This precipitation is redissolved when the continuous further heating up to boiling point. This precipitation is redissolved when you continuously or prolonged heating up to boiling point. This precipitation is redissolved. But this precipitation is reappears again when you cooling the urine above 70 degrees Celsius. Above 70 degrees Celsius. So identification of the Benzone proteins in urine. So by heat test and Bradshaw test and electrophoresis pattern. In heat test, so acidify the urine and heat at the 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. Observe the precipitation. If the Benzone proteins are present in the urine, precipitation occurs in test tube. But this precipitation is redissolved when the continuously heating or prolonged heating up to boiling point. Up to boiling point. But the precipitation is reappears when cooling the urine at 70 degrees Celsius. At about 70 degrees Celsius, the precipitation is. See here it is. At the room temperature, at the 60 degrees Celsius between is the starting point. It is a 60 degrees Celsius precipitation lightly. At the 100 degrees Celsius, when you heat it, there is no precipitation. But when you cool it in the between 60 to 70 degrees Celsius, reappears the precipitation of the urine. See here it is. But the room temperature, at the room temperature, there is no precipitation. So that means Benzone proteins precipitation occurs about between the 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. See here this. This is the normal one before the heating. After heating, so this one is the prolonged heating and cooling. This is about 60 degrees, is between the 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. Precipitation is 3 APS. So that means this urine containing the light chains of the immunoglobulins. That means is nothing but is Benzone proteins. So Benzone proteins containing the light chains of the immunoglobulins. Another test is a Broad-Star test. Another test is Broad-Star test for the identification of the Benzone proteins that is present in the urine. In this, so urine add the concentrated HCl to the urine on sides of the walls of the test tube. So observe the white ring precipitate. If the Benzone proteins are present in the urine, so you can observe the white ring precipitate. White ring precipitate when you add the concentrated HCl. So another disease is amyloidosis. What is meant by amyloidosis? That is when the light chains fragments are deposited in the tissues, liver, kidney, intestine. So and this leads to the intestine of multiple myeloma patients. Amyloidosis means the deposition of the light chains fragments in the tissues like liver, kidney, and intestine of the multiple myeloma patients. So amyloidosis occurs in multiple myeloma patients. The amyloidosis means the deposition of the light chain fragments in the tissues like liver and kidney and intestine. See once again. So immunoglobulins or whatever it may be, antibodies or gamma globulins, all are the same. If you have the question is write about the antibodies or write about the gamma globulins or write about the immunoglobulins, you should write about the structure of the immunoglobulins, types of the immunoglobulins, functions of the immunoglobulins, what are the abnormalities of the immunoglobulins. In the abnormalities of the immunoglobulins, you should write about the multiple myeloma and also is a broadcast test for the light chain of immunoglobulins, that is Benzone proteins. So estimation of the Benzone proteins in urine by the Broad-Star test and also the heat test, classical heat test, and also electrophoresis pattern. Okay, so the main purpose immunoglobulins, the main function of the immunoglobulins engulf for invasion of the foreign substances that is produced from the virus, bacteria, or the protein. The defense structures of the body are collectively referred to the immunity. So actually, the special type of proteins because of the special type of proteins. Why it is called the gamma globulins? Immunoglobulins also called the gamma globulins. Why? So because of these immunoglobulins are associated with the gamma globulin fraction of the plasma proteins. Gamma globulin of the fraction proteins. So gamma globulin means a physical term. Immunoglobulin is a functional term. If you see the structure of the immunoglobulin, that is a Y shape. It's contain the two identical units. So that is a heavy chain, two heavy chains and two light chains. Two heavy chains. Here it is two heavy chains, two light chains. These heavy chains and light chains are linked with the disulfide bridges. See here it is a disulfide bridges. So each heavy chain and light chain contain the amino acid terminal, amino terminal residue, and this carboxy terminal residue. So this is the carboxy terminal. This is the amino acid terminal. This is the light chain containing the amino acid terminal. This is the carboxy terminal of the light chain. See here. So what is the importance of this is the amino acid terminal? The importance of this amino acid terminal to bind with the antigen. Bind with the antigen. So each heavy chain containing the 1/4 of it in the variable region, 3/4 in the constant region. Light chain contain the half of it in the variable region, the half of it in the light chain contain the constant region. Why is the immunoglobulins called the glycoproteins? So because of the here it is the heavy chains. The large volume of it is a heavy chain. The large content of the heavy chain linked with the carbohydrates, hence it is known as the glycoprotein. Hence it is known as a glycoprotein. One enzyme, that is a papain, is involved in the leaves the immunoglobulins between the CH1 and CH2, carbohydrate 1 and C1 and C2 here it is. This region is called the hinge region. So the above part is called the FAB, that is antigen binding fragment. The below part of the papain, hinge region below part is called the crystallizable fragment. Crystallizable fragment. See here it is. Crystallizable fragment. And also, actually, different types of immunoglobulins are available. That is, the types of immunoglobulins are 5 types. That is IgG, IgA, IgM, IgD, and IgA. You can remember easily game D or D game. You can remember like that one is. But each immunoglobulins are containing the different types of, heavy chains. But here is the light chains are kappa or lambda type of light chains. Kappa or lambda type of light chains. Heavy chains of the immunoglobulins, that is types of heavy chains of the immunoglobulins, alpha, beta, don't view this as a beta, alpha, gamma, epsilon, and here it is delta and mu. Alpha, gamma, mu, epsilon, sorry, delta and epsilon. These are the types of the heavy chains of the immunoglobulins. But two types of light chains are present in the immunoglobulins, that is kappa or lambda. So almost the kappa type of light chains are present in the immunoglobulins. Kappa type of light chains are present in. So if you see the IgA and IgG, so again that is IgG is a monomer, such a single Y shape. This is the most one important is about present in the human 75% here is 75%. So, and it is only the immunoglobulin transfer the immunity from the mothers to the developing fetus. It can traverse the placenta and transfer the mother's immunity to the developing fetus. It contains the heavy chain is here it is a alpha heavy chains. Sorry, gamma heavy chains. IgA is containing the here it is a alpha type of heavy chains. The main it is present in the saliva, tear, sweat, milk, and walls of the intestine. And initially secretion occurs from this mother's breast after a baby is born. After a baby is born. IgM is a pentamer. So this pentamer is held together with the polypeptide chains. So and 5 Y-shaped units. This is the largest immunoglobulin. Due to the large size, IgM cannot traverse the blood vessels. This IgM sheet is IgM containing a new type of heavy chains. New type of heavy chains. This is the hinge region. These are held together by J polypeptide chains. J polypeptide chains. And next one is the IgD and IgE. IgD is also single shape, that is also monomer. So it is present in the circulation at the low concentration and also present on the surface of the beta cells. Present on the beta cells, which is also containing the here it is. So which type of delta type? Delta type of heavy chains. IgD containing delta type of heavy chains. IgE is a single Y-shaped monomer. It is normally present in the minute concentration, so in the blood, and also it is tightly with the mast cells which release the histamine and cause the allergy. So IgE levels are elevated in the with the allergic conditions, and also it containing the heavy chain is delta type of heavy chains. The abnormalities of the immunoglobulins and multiple myeloma. In multiple myeloma stage, abnormally overproduction of abnormal immunoglobulins about 75%. This mainly occurs between the ages 45 to 60 degrees Celsius. This multiple myeloma is a single cell plasma cancer, also known as the single cell plasma cancer. This is actually females are more susceptible than to the males. In multiple myeloma, the synthesis of the normal immunoglobulins is diminished. Synthesis of the normal immunoglobulins synthesis. We can observe the multiple myeloma by using this electrophoresis pattern, and also so estimation of the Bingham proteins in urine, that is by using heat test and cross-shot test. And amyloidosis is also observed in the multiple myeloma patients. Amyloidosis means is a deposition of here it is a deposition of the light chain fragments. Deposition of the light chain fragments in tissues like this liver, kidney, and intestine. So amyloidosis is observed in the multiple myeloma patients. So broad specific coagulation test is for the identification of the Bingham proteins. Bingham proteins are contained in the light chains of the immunoglobulins. Light chains of the immunoglobulins.